I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't watch the whole program of SNL. It's not. It goes on too long for me.
Yeah, it's not funny.
I go on YouTube and I watch the clips, and it's like when you've got there's one of the sketches on there like Family Feud and stuff like that, a bit like, and the stuff that they come out with.
Well, you're not talking about bad language, are you? You're talking because they don't use bad language on SNL.
Well, no, but they've got no problem telling stuff about Jewish jokes, black jokes, taking the mix out of whatever, as long as it gets a laugh.
Really?
Over here,
I don't recognise
you don't have that.
I don't recognise that as SNL material, making jokes about black people and Jewish people.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I go on YouTube and I'll watch the clips, and the amount of stuff that they come out with is totally different than what it is here.
Right. Well, you keep saying that, but I don't think that is correct. I think they're pretty right on, and I'm going to say it, woke.
Oh, no.
I've used the W word. I think they're pretty woke over at SNL.
No. No. They are not, and I watch it and I find it funny.
Right.
So it's not something that bothers me. I'm not ringing up because it's saying I'm bothered by this,
right.
but I've just noticed.
Yeah. Well, you see, Saturday Night Live has never been that funny. It's been on forever, and I've watched it at various points through the decades. And even when it had, Bill Murray and John Belushi and all of those people, the first time around it was really, really famous. Even then it wasn't really funny. It's probably the best way to watch it is the way you watch it, Paul, just in clips form on YouTube, because they've just cut out the funny bits and then it will take you 3 minutes to watch, not an hour. But I don't recognise that description of it. Maybe it's a different era that you're watching. Are you watching clips that are like 20 years old?
I don't know. I mean, the clips that I've seen, you've got people like Hank, Tom Hanks. He's on it. He's in one of the sketches for like one of the shows, and you do get so many famous people on it.
Yeah. And
none of them seem to have a problem telling or being ridiculed or ridiculing whoever
jokes.
They want to ridicule.
Right. Well, I think we've got that here, but you're talking about a completely different thing. You're talking about making jokes about someone on the basis of their race. They definitely don't do that. I mean, I would bet money that they don't do that. I've never seen them do that. You're talking about when it used to be, I don't know how old you are, Paul, but you probably used to watch Wheel Tappers and Shunters Social Club, right?
I do remember the Wheel Tappers and Shunters. I wasn't. I suppose the easiest way to do it is like the difference is Frankie. If you're looking at comedians, Frankie Boyle and Michael McIntyre. If you watch Frankie Boyle. You understand the stuff that he's coming out with because he's real blunt and, some people say offensive.
Yeah.
You watch Michael McIntyre and he
not so much.
Everything he can not to upset anybody.
Right. And that way leads to big reward. Huge. I'm sure Frankie Boyle ain't doing too badly, but he ain't doing as good as Michael McIntyre because he's a family entertainer, whereas Frankie Boyle, not so much.
Disgusting.
He's a family offender. But, you know what? I don't really miss the ability to make fun of people based on their skin colour. I think there's probably funnier ways of making jokes than that. It seems a bit, it seems a bit lazy, really. Although, when Wheel Tappers and Shunters Social Club was on in the 1970s, I mean, I watched it and I had my favourite comedians and none of that stuff would be okay now. Just like all those sitcoms you should probably remember, like Love Thy Neighbour and Till Death Us Do Part and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I didn't mind them at all.
Well, no, nobody did at the time, but, in retrospect, things change, like hairstyles change. If you walked out, Paul, in the way that you used to dress in the 1970s, people would, well, actually, you'd be right on time, I bet. I bet you'd look completely at home in a fashionable location like Ealing. But, you know, this wistful yearning for an old time when we could say what we wanted is just really people yearning to be able to say nasty things about people that they're not. It's not they're not allowed to. It's not encouraged. It's just not what we do anymore. Get with the times, mate. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Yeah! Dude!
Please hold the line. I'm trying to connect you.
I am trying to connect a caller in Brighouse called David. David.
Hello, Nick.
David.
I would just like to take issue with you being a Tory stooge.
Okay.
Right? Because you've been complaining about the clocks going back for an hour tonight,
right.
which means that we get an extra hour to just lounge around in bed, relaxing, scratching ourselves absent-mindedly.
Yes.
But where were you in March when they were taking an hour from us and making us work an extra hour?
Ah, good point.
Which couple that with your constant promotion of Fishy Rishi's current video and your now incredibly intimate knowledge of Liz Truss and her peccadillos. Is there anything that you want to confess to the nation, Nick?
Yeah, Liz Truss, those peccadillos don't suit. You can't walk in those peccadillos. Get some sensible shoes for crying out loud.
So, where were you in March when they were taking an hour from us?
Sounds like a dereliction of duty to me. I need to be punished.
Yes, absolutely.
Well spotted,
Right,
that, man.
that's it.
I've been rumbled. All right, thanks a lot, David. 0345 6060 973. Mary tweets, why are people in a movie but on television? I sometimes lie awake at night wondering about this. Don't judge me, says Mary. That's a good point. Why are people in a movie or film, if you prefer, why are people in a film but on television? Now, you could say that, and I bet that you've jumped to this conclusion straight away without thinking about it, that they're on television because television is a thing. You are in a film, but a film is not the thing that you watch the film on. That's the cinema. But the television is the product that you watch the program on. But you are also in a film, but on a television program. Interesting. Because I often have that, how big does an island have to be before you're in it, not on it? Because nobody says, I'm on Australia or even on New Zealand. But you are in Australia, right? In a film, but on a television program. Very good. Shane tweets, I don't mind that Leaky Braverman was reappointed Home Secretary as long as Fishy Sunak puts her away with the rest of the Halloween decorations when it's over. What is wrong with the Tories in general? I mean, they all look so blooming awkward, don't they? I mean, have you ever seen a bunch of people who look less comfortable with themselves? Lorna says, what's happened to Quasimodo? Not heard anything about him since he was sacked. And Joe says, I'd say Rishi and Keir are neck and neck in terms of hair product. Well, that's absolutely right. And for both of them, Donnie has a message.
You don't need to put all of that product in your hair. You just don't.
You just don't. Ease up on the product. Lewisham. Hello, Jane.
Hello, Nick.
Jane.
You're always going on about Brexit, right? Now,
Not really.
is best. Brexit is best. It's just that we haven't got Brexit.
Is best. It sounds like you're promoting a cereal. Brexit is best. It's the best way to start the day.
Is. Brexit's going great.
It's going great.
Actually, Nick, the fact that we haven't got Brexit is a health and security threat. It really is. We must have Brexit, and we just have to see what our new Prime Minister does.
Jane, are you out of your mind? Boris Johnson delivered Brexit. He got Brexit.
And we haven't got Brexit.
You got Brexit done.
Yeah. Wait.
Waffle. He was complete waffle from start to finish.
Well, what is it about the Brexit that you've got that is unsatisfying?
The whole thing is just they haven't started.
Be more
Brexit.
Specific.
Everything. Anyway.
Everything is the antithesis of specificity. Be specific. What is it that you're missing?
They haven't started to do Brexit.
Right.
They haven't started.
Right, but what bit of it would you like them to start with?
So anyway, well, it's not going to start unless.
You're not listening to me, Jane. Listen to me, Jane. Listen to me 1 minute. I have the ability to fade you out. God, wouldn't that be marvellous if we had the ability to fade people out in real life? You could just, like with a wave of your hand, you know, like some of those remote control for your TV now, you can just wave it in the air and it does what you want it to do. It's like magic. Wouldn't that be great if you could just do that with real people? You could fade them out, and they would think that they're still talking, Jane. But you're not listening to them at all. Wouldn't that be great?
Nick?
Yes.
Well, if Rishi doesn't do the job and even start to do Brexit...
But which bit would you like him to start?
You've got the motoring party.
Listen to me, Jane. Listen to me, Jane. Which bit of Brexit would you like him to start with?
Anywhere.
Oh my God! See, painful. I bet if I asked you which law that has been imposed on us by the evil European overlords you would like to get rid of first, your answer would be all of them.
No, it's a total mess. They haven't started to do Brexit, have they?
They've finished.
And it's a threat to
national security.
England, and it's a threat to the world.
Right.
But anyway, Mike Rutherford come on, and
Mike Rutherford?
A while ago.
What, out of Genesis?
Rutherford. No. Mike Rutherford with Cars. And
Mike
he
Rutherford
said,
have never sang with the Cars.
We need a motoring party, so we changed our name, and now we are the motoring party.
Who is Mark Rutherford?
Mike Rutherford.
Mike Rutherford. Who's that?
You know him with the Cars.
I absolutely do not know him with the Cars.
Well, you should. You like Cars, Nick, don't you?
Well, I like some of the songs from the Cars, but I haven't got any of their albums, if that's what you mean. Mike Rutherford out of the Cars? I had no idea. Anyway, interesting to talk to you, Jane, and by interesting, I mean, you know. 0345 6060 973. An eye-opening experience. I think that is completely right. Alexandra texts. There's a sound effect that goes with this. She says, I just can't believe that the failed fireplace salesman come failed defence minister come failed education minister Williamson has been dredged back up from the bed of the Thames. Bets on for failed minister without portfolio in a matter of weeks. Well, he's our minister without a portfolio is better than the French minister without portfolio and better than the German minister without portfolio.
I just reckon we've got the very best people in this country, much better than the French have, much better than the Belgians have, much better than the Americans have. That doesn't surprise me at all because we're a much better country than every single one of them.
Every single one of them. Yeah, he sounds like the kind of talent that we've been missing. Jim, what a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
Mark texts, are you aware we are now keeping 7 living ex-prime ministers with round-the-clock security?
What?
7, he says. God, can you imagine how much that's costing us? Oh, the new head of the Met Police was complaining about something today. Hang on a minute, I've got it right here. One moment, please. I've got detailed files. The Metropolitan Police has blasted Just Stop Oil. You know the hippies?
Yowza.
The Just Stop Oil hippies, who are engaged in a month-long protest across the capital. He accused them of tying up officers, not literally, tying up officers who should be out beating knife crime and solving burglaries.
Correct.
Well, they should be, yeah. But what were they doing before the Just Stop Oil people started yelling, Just Stop Oil? Can you remember? Were they out there beating knife crime and solving burglaries?
No.
No, they weren't. Commenting after what's called the eco-zealots blocked 4 roads across London at lunchtime, Assistant Commissioner Matt Twist, that's his actual name and not something I just made up, he said that since October the 1st, the Met has arrested 651 people in connection with the ongoing protests. He said the size of the policing operation necessary to control the protests means the Met has fewer resources to tackle priority issues such as knife crime. Priority issues. You know, knife crime has gone up in London every year since 2015. I don't have the figures from before 2015, but I'll assume that it's gone up every year since before 2015 as well. And it only went down during lockdown when people couldn't stab anyone except those in their bubble. If it's the oil hippies' fault that the police aren't tackling knife crime now, what was stopping them in 2015? Or 2016? Or 2017? Or 2018? Or 2019? I mean, even when it went down under lockdown, it was still over 10,000 knife crimes a year. In a statement, Assistant Commissioner Matt Twist said, actions by Just Stop Oil have caused a significant amount of disruption and frustration among the public in London. He said this impacts on policing resources from local communities. Since October the 1st, more than 7,900 officer shifts have been needed to respond to this activity to try to keep London moving and to minimise serious impact on communities. Well, you could say that the Met Police's inability to tackle crime of any sort has had a serious impact on communities. Officer Twist said, if officers were not helping the central operation to deal with Just Stop Oil, they could be dealing with issues that matter to local communities such as knife crime and safeguarding and responding to burglaries. And all that is very serious. But what's the excuse he's going to give for the crime clear-up rate of the Met Police before people started gluing themselves to the road? I mean, it seems a bit rich. I mean, the crime rate in London went up in a straight line since 2015. It only dropped down a bit when we were all under lockdown in 2020 because of, the mad bat disease. So blaming the glue people for the crime rate in London is a bit much. And it's not just the crime rate itself, it's the clear-up rate, which is abysmal too. 5.4% of all crimes end up with someone being charged, which means that crime does pay about 95% of the time. And it's not the fault of the hippies in cagoules. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with the way that they are highlighting the danger to us and our way of life from climate change. I mean, I think they should leave the paintings alone. And I don't see what Rolex has got to do with oil. And blocking roads can be quite annoying, but to blame them for the crime rate in London seems to be a bit of a stretch to me. But maybe that's just because I'm an activist lefty. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Don't touch me, or I'll kill you.
0345 6060 973. Let's have a call in Liverpool. Hello, Kit.
Hello, my darling.
Kit.
Oh, my God, that was like waiting for Godot. You know, talking to your producer and getting through. I felt like video global.
Yeah, Godot's not here right now, but as soon as he becomes available, I'll put him right on.
You'll do perfectly well. Listen, I wanted to just ask you, because I was listening about the comments that you made about this GMT thing, which I totally support you in. Mm-hmm. But I want to know, you know the way that we're going to turn the clocks back at 2 o'clock this morning by 1 hour?
Yeah.
That's a GMT thing that you spoke about earlier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Why can't we turn them back 12 years and
12.
just try again?
12 years.
12 years
Excellent suggestion. Let's do it.
I just think, you know what, we'd have a chance, wouldn't we? And who's to say who's in control? Because it's like, I spoke to Ian Dale the other day, and I love him to bits, but he totally put me on the spot. Because he asked me, prior to the final selection, would I pick Rishi Roulette or Penny Moron? And well, he got me on the spot, didn't he? So I immediately, because of his financial prowess, on the spot, I said, Fishy.
His financial prowess. It wasn't his those dark, pool, lipid eyes that got you.
I know, but the thing was on reflection.
His smile and his hair and his ears. You thought, what an absolute dream. Yeah, plus all that money.
Nick, it's all I can dream about. Right. But at the end of the day, on reflection, I thought about it and I thought, God, it was almost like he was telling me that he was going to assassinate me, and he was asking me to choose my murderer.
Yeah, which way would you like to die? Yeah, exactly right. I know, painful. It would be funny if it wasn't happening to us, sadly. All right, thanks a lot, Kit. 0345 6060 973. Woolwich. Hello, Richard.
Oh, hi there, Nick.
Richard.
Did that last caller call her Penny Moron?
I believe so, yeah.
That's the first time I've heard that. It's pretty good.
I don't think you need to remember it, because I'm pretty sure that we won't be hearing or seeing from her again, but never mind.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah, exactly. Do you know, Nick, I'm sitting in my garden in Woolwich in my shorts, and the geraniums are still in bloom. I find that...
A little bit too much information there.
Disgusting.
Put it away. No one wants to see that.
Okay. So to my point, which is the COP 27, is it? Yeah. I'm just... if I was King Charles, which still sounds a bit like a spaniel, yeah. But if I was King Charles, I'd be a bit miffed, because I would have spent sort of 70-odd years waiting to be king. Yeah. And then told I can't do something.
Yeah, by Liz Bloomin' Truss.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd just go anyway. I mean, what are they going to do?
Exactly. Yeah. And I would go on my private jet, and I'd have my whole sort of, chauffeur-driven kind of gasoline cars and everything.
All of that, yeah.
I'd do the whole thing.
I'd take along my Aston Martin, which runs on wine.
Cheese and wine. Yeah, I remember that. Do you know, when you did your sort of New Year's and called it cheese and wine, I kind of imagined that you would connect it to that.
I don't know what you mean. My New Year's, and I called it cheese and wine.
You called your New Year show, which you then went on to publish the book called Cheese and Wine.
Oh.
I thought that was a beautiful link to the whole Charlie thing, because he was indeed running his Aston Martin on cheese and wine.
Right. No, I think that wasn't a reference to Boris Johnson's business meetings, the cheese and wine get-togethers. I'm pretty sure that was that. There'll be another one coming out in the new year, by the way. For if I get to do the A to Z at Christmas, I'll compile it all and I'll stick it out in a book. And I've been writing as we go along. I've been writing sort of a commentary about each month and each excruciating event as it happens to us, and a lot of things that you'll have forgotten about and maybe you didn't hear about in the first place. So that'll be coming out fairly soon to join the virtual library of older books that I've got on Amazon, without mentioning any brand names. Amazon, they're on.
Oh, sorry, am I still on?
It sounds like you.
Brilliant. I loved that last book. I thought it was really, it's kind of, I read it every now and again and get this kind of real sort of sense of nostalgia because we were all locked down, weren't we?
It was just last year. I mean, I know a lot's happened to us since then, but let's not get nostalgic for what happened 12 months ago.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm getting nostalgic for Liz Truss now, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I'm getting nostalgic for the beginning of this programme. It seems like so long ago.
I can't notice any difference between you tonight and yesterday. I don't know if that's an insult.
Oh, really? I just did not feel like I was here yesterday. It was almost that I was observing me doing this show, and I was thinking, gosh, this isn't going very well. I don't know. But my voice didn't feel right, and my head was a little bit woozy.
Yowza.
And not in a good way, if you know what I mean.
And you know what the funny thing was?
What?
That guy earlier, I think his name was Paul, was talking about psycho clowns.
Oh.
And then this Jane from Lewisham came on and started talking about Brexit.
Well, I like it when listeners start picking fights with each other, but not when she's not here. Save it to when she comes in, then you can call up and you can fight it out on the air, live. How does that sound?
Sounds good, Nick.
Okay, all right. Talk to you then. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, King Charles, he should just go anyway. I mean, what's it got to do with Liz Truss?
I'm genuinely unclear.
And Fishy Sunak, of course, he's the continuity candidate. It's not a new broom. It's the same blooming broom. It's the same mess. They've just swept it all under the carpet. And they're pretending that they're all new people going in a new direction. It's not. It's the same blooming people. The destination remains the same. We just might take a more circuitous route. That's all. Because they said that over and over again. That Liz Truss, she wanted to, enact all this libertarianism to free us all up. And by which I mean we will not be free. We will become the slaves of the super rich, which is the sort of libertarian ideal. She just wanted to do it too quick. That's what they said. Oh, well, she took it all too fast. Implying that they had no problem with what she was doing. It's just that the speed at which she was doing. She took a straight line there. Whereas if you just go around, it's like boiling a frog. And in this scenario, you and me, we're the frogs. If you boil us slowly from cold, then we'll stay in the pot. If you sling us in while it's hot, we'll just jump straight out again. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
But I reckon that King Charles, it's going to be quite difficult to get used to saying that, he should just go anyway. But you know what? I bet that they would find some way to get him back, because that's just the sort of... They are that petty. I do feel that they are. They'll find some way to, they'll close down some charitable house that he's trying to revivify. They'll say, oh, well, we don't want that. We'll burn that one to the ground just to get him back. I bet that's what he's concerned about. Because if not, then just go, mate. How are they going to stop you? Well, they're going to wrestle you to the ground. And his popularity has apparently shot through the roof. I'll come to that in a minute because I'm right up against the news. But there's a poll that's just come out about the royal family. And they asked people to sort of rate them. What do you think about this one? What do you think about that one? And people said, hooray, or boo, depending on who it was. And I bet you know which one that they reserved the boos for. So I'll come to that in a minute. Some texts and emails just before the new news. Kath texts, why can't Gav be the Minister for Brexit Opportunities? I haven't had a decent night's sleep since Smug got fired because I'm worried sick about the unpatriotic signs in the Dartford Tunnel. That's right. Did you actually manage to find any Brexit opportunities, Smug?
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
No, he still doesn't know anything. A man in search of a fact. Tony texts, don't wish Rishi away. The best thing to happen to this country and the right man for the job, says Tony, who is presumably trolling us. Back under your bridge, troll. And Jim says, have you noticed how Jeremy Hunt always has his head tilted backwards at all times? He must have spent most of his time at private school balancing a book on his head. He must know more about ceilings than anybody else in the country. Just an observation, says Jim. Make him Minister for Ceilings. It's right up his street. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. I should remind you that one of the podcasts that I do is called the Nick Abbot Habit. It's a half an hour of concentrated amusement. It's a best of. And these are old shows. I just clip out the best bits and I jam them all together. It comes out on Mondays. It's a half an hour. If you've got half an hour and you wish to be amused, I think you'll love it. The Nick Abbot Habit, available on an internet near you.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
And I can't stand him.
0345 6060 973. Marion texts, when you have more texts than you can read out on one particular day and you keep them for a later show, you'll need to check whether the ministers mentioned haven't changed overnight the way things are going. Well, that's absolutely right. And Bob says, Elon Musk paid $44 billion for Twitter. What an idiot. I downloaded it from the App Store for nothing. You wait till he finds out, Bob. He'll be furious. Camden. Hello, Ellie.
Hi, Nick.
Ellie.
How are you?
Great, mate.
Not too good. Listen, I was thinking about... can you hear me?
No.
That's okay then. So I'll speak a little bit more low and then you'll be able to hear me.
There you go.
I was thinking that until you've got rid of this bark and brain fog, which is probably throat thrush, has a horrible effect, lay off milk, you should stop betting your house and offering people money until you actually have got your head a bit clearer, because I would hate to see you lose out.
Right, me too.
And the second thing is congrats on getting the thing about people being on screen and on telly, although they're in a movie. I hadn't thought of that.
No.
So thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Cheer up a bit. I know it's hell on earth at the moment, but...
it could be worse.
We've all got... No, not until it is.
Yeah. Well, it could actually be worse. Yeah, we better enjoy it while it's only a disaster, because any moment now it could be a catastrophe. That is completely correct in every respect, Ellie. Well spotted there. Cheers, my dear. AO text, did you have a hangover yesterday? No, I did feel as though I was coming down with something, majorly serious.
Stop whining.
But it seems to have disappeared today. So maybe, I don't know. Don't know. I thought I was losing my voice. I actually thought I'm going to have to call in sick. God, I hate doing that. I've only had to do it maybe once or twice in the entire time I've been at LBC. For the same reason that I lost my voice. Oh no, I thought I got the mad bat disease one time, which lasted about 3 hours. I had it in the morning, and I thought I'll call in ill. And then about 3 hours later, I thought, oh, well, that's actually, I'm feeling quite fine now. But they'd already found somebody for, to do the show. But that's what I thought I was going to have to do today. Yesterday, I thought today I was going to have to call in sick, but I feel fine. Appreciate you asking.
Thank you.
Tom text, did you see Rishi Sunak talking to that old lady in the hospital? She said nurses needed to be paid more, and he said he'd take it on board. He couldn't have seemed less sincere if he'd tried. That's right. Yeah, and he was talking to her like she was a child. She was a senior citizen, not senile. He'll take it on board. Yeah, that was believable, yes? No. What he took on board was that he's going to try and fire... No, not try. He's going to fire the person that introduced him to the lady that talks back. Haven't these people been vetted? Yes, dear, I'll take that on board and not do anything about it. Nurses, what do we want to pay them for? They don't make money. Lorraine texts, last night you were talking about how much you like the repair shop, but did you know that Jay Blades, the presenter, called into your show a few weeks ago? I was listening at the time and I don't think he realised who it was. He was in a car, maybe stuck in traffic. Anyway, just thought I'd mentioned it, says Lorraine. Well, it sounds like you mentioned it, Lorraine. And Keith tweets, you think we swallow 8 spiders a year in our sleep? No, I don't think that. I mean, I've heard people say that. Well, what kind of spider? Like a tarantula, for instance? Do we have to actually chew it, or does it just pop straight down? No, we don't. I bet they would taste awful as well. I mean, have you ever had a fly in your mouth? Like, not deliberately. I mean, not as a starter, for instance, but you just flies in your mouth, like accidentally. You're walking along the road, minding your own affairs, da-da-da-da-da, and your mouth is slack and open, and a fly flies straight in. You know how they taste? Ugh, awful. Imagine being a bird. You've got to get up at the crack of dawn and go eat those things all day. Blimey, you'd throw yourself off a branch. But imagine how bad spiders taste. Ugh, awful.
Disgusting.
And on that subject, Zara emails, I always hoover giant house spiders and then I put the hoover outside because those ginormous monsters are invincible and survive the vacuum. If your listeners don't have a garden, tell them to wrap the end of the pipe with cling film. Wrap it with cling film. But so that's a one-use vacuum cleaner then. God, you wait till Therese Coffin hears about that. She thinks it's a big deal reusing cups. You're throwing away a vacuum cleaner every time you hoover up a spider. You believe that? It's not saving the planet. Sheffield, hello, Liam.
Hi, you're right.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Before we start, can you? It's beyond your control, but please stop playing the Christmas adverts.
Please stop playing the what?
Christmas adverts.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jesus' birthday starts in August.
Exactly. And another thing, James O'Brien is starting to use the old fishy Sunak. So you've hit the prime time.
Is he starting to use... what do you mean by that?
Well, he was calling fishy Sunak.
Oh, he's calling him fishy Sunak. Well, it's such... I can hardly class that as my material. It's just such an easy step to make. I mean, just one letter change. It's easy.
Listen, they're your material. Don't take it away from yourself.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot, Liam. Keep your eyes peeled.
Wait, before you go...
Yeah.
Can I have a bodger? Blah, 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 blah. Come on, you know it.
He wants a blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Another satisfied customer. Thanks, Liam. 0345 6060 973. Claire emails, I live in Canada and we have the real deal. We have wolf spiders. They're huge. Running away is entirely sensible as the wolf spider tends to fight back when cornered. Yeah, with whatever weaponry it has to hand. I don't want to read any more emails about spiders. Adrian says, I know the clocks are going back, but I didn't know they were going back as far... I know the clocks are going back, but didn't know that they were going back as far as bringing back Deal or No Deal. The game show that's not a game show. Not with Noel Tidybeard, but with Stephen Mulhern. Talk about scraping the bottom of the barrel. Looks like we've gone through it, says Adrian. Well, I'm unfamiliar with the Stephen Mulhern's work, but I'm sure he's excellent in every regard. But that was a game show that wasn't really a game. I didn't really get it. It was just bizarre. It's like, here's a box. That's what you've won. See you later. It's just really weird as a concept. I mean, you'd think you'd get chucked out of an executive's office if you came up with that idea. But it was a huge hit. Mystifying. You can call me Mr. Fide. Oh, I still haven't done this poll about the Royals, have I? God, talk about setting something up and then not doing it. I am very bad at my job.
Correct.
Here is Newick. Margaret.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Margaret.
Lovely to talk to you.
Margaret.
I agree absolutely with the hour business. I can't. It just drives me crackers.
Yeah.
If the children start walking in the dark, and I have to add it now, it's a different dark, and when it's becoming actually lighter very quickly. I mean, it's not so formidable. It's not nasty. And the children will, excuse me, dear, the children will hear the dawn chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you that pretty woodland of trees you saw at 5 p.m. today will not look so nice tomorrow.
In the dark.
5 p.m.
Exactly.
Won't go anywhere near it.
Plus, kids don't walk to school anymore. They get driven to school in a car the size of a tank by their mummies.
But mummies might say, oh, you can hear the birds. So off you go. You can walk. It'll be a nice biology lesson.
Yeah, nobody walks anymore, even to hear the birds. But I completely agree. You are completely correct in every respect. Taking the clocks back an hour is cuckoo. Mad. I don't know why we're putting up with it. Like, I really don't. Why aren't people complaining more about it? Whinging and whining and moaning. That's what we should be doing. We're too busy. I've got no idea. What are we busy doing? What are you busy doing, Margaret?
Well, I'm listening to you, and I was thinking about that awful Williamson chap. You know, he's the big head of education.
Yeah.
Well, I think Putin has been really upset about that, and now he is blaming us about cutting some gas pipes.
You think it's Gavin Williamson's fault?
Yeah,
yeah, thanks a lot, Gavin Williamson. See what you've done. We're going to freeze to death now. All right, well spotted there, Margaret. Cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. And on that subject, Joshua tweets, I can't believe that Gavin Williamson is back again. What is a minister without portfolio? What's his job then? Just to hang around? I know. It's all very fishy. It just is. The same faces. They just shuffle them about a bit. And ones that you thought that you got rid of a while ago, due to their towering incompetence, are back. And he's calling it a government of integrity. More gaslighting. Telling you what's up is down. Like a Jedi mind trick. But as I keep saying, they're not Jedis.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Come on, we're running late.
0345 6060 973. Manchester. Hello, Sam.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, Sam.
Yeah, I've got about 4 points to make really quick.
4?
Yeah, just really quick ones.
Well, let's see how the first one goes.
First one is, I've got a better name for Fishy. Why don't you call him Richie?
What's the second one?
The second one's more a question.
What's your query?
Why don't you just keep your own clock forward instead of complaining about it?
Okay, that's an excellent suggestion. What's your third point?
Third one is, have you got... No, this is a question. I don't want you to just react quickly. How do you... I'm not saying I don't enjoy... I really enjoy your nasty comments against politicians. But have you ever got anything nice to say about anyone?
No.
Is any politician who's doing a good job?
Is there any politician that is good at their job?
Anyone?
Well, there is no politician that is not improvable. Let's put it like that.
Do you think you'll make a good politician?
No. No, and furthermore...
No.
And I believe that was 4 questions. 0345 6060 973. Liz tweets, every year we should have a raffle to find the next PM. 50p to enter. Second prize is a gerbil. Count me in, Liz. Lisa texts, on a night like this. Therese Coffin will be made up when she finds out about reusable plates, knives and forks. You can imagine how delighted she's going to be. Sam says, I've had a light bulb moment. The UK population is around 66 million. If Fishy gave $1 million from his own wealth to every adult over 25, leaving approximately 680 million, the cost of living crisis would be resolved. That's right. If he's got 730 million, then he could give each and every one of us £1 million, and he'd still have 680 million left. Just do it, Fishy. You get my vote. And Jake texts, the problem with Liz Truss is that she was a quitter, not a fighter.
That is a disgrace.
I might never get tired of playing that. What else? How many of... Oh, look, I'm almost at the... Wow! I'm almost at the end of these texts and tweets. I never thought I'd do... I've never done this before. I'm about to do a perfect show. I'll get through all of the calls and all of the texts and tweets. Just don't add any more to this list, all right?
Okie doke.
Okie dokie. Michaela texts, President Biden is going to COP27 in order to save the planet. Will he be taking a 20-car motorcade like he did last time? Yeah, probably. Exactly, Bodge. Exactly. Wheels of the car go round and round. Very good. Margate. Hello, Russell.
Hello.
Russell.
Hello.
Yes, Russell.
Hello. What is a minister with no portfolio?
I have absolutely no idea.
Is that just someone who drains the system of money?
I guess so, yeah.
I honestly, Nadeem Zahawi, they just crowbarred him in. He's like Boris Mark II, what he was calling for in the Telegraph, which I didn't get to read, unfortunately. How could... I mean, is this just Rishi? Like, in the end, all the people that dislike him are going to be a minister with no portfolio, right?
Yeah. There's basically give them a job paying a six-figure sum at our expense to, I don't know, maybe he's the one that goes out with a suitcase to the local shop to get some more supplies for a business meeting. Booze.
I mean... I just looked up the faces online that are employed by us to run the government, and they are exactly the same faces, just with different titles.
Precisely, yeah. That's his brand new government of integrity. Who's he kidding?
A minister without portfolio.
Without portfolio,
historically, has that existed before?
I do recall that somebody was a minister without portfolio before, but what the hell is he for? What's his job? What's he going to be doing at our vast expense, I'd like to know.
Keeping his mouth shut.
I think you've, by Jove, I think he's got it. Yeah, keeping his mouth shut, exactly. Yeah.
Good night, Nick.
All right, thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Meg texts, I'm an American living here in the UK. I learned so much about the crazy government from your show. So what are your thoughts on Kanye? I'll sum it up for you.
Whoop-dee-dee-scoop poop.
On my thoughts on Kanye. That's it in a nutshell. In other words. So there was this poll about the royals. And apparently King Charles' popularity has shot up among the British public since he became king. This is because of all the things that he has done since he became king, such as, the things that he did like, no idea. While His Fabulous Majesty is up in the polls, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are far behind the rest of the royals in approval, which is really surprising because of all the positive news stories that the British press keep writing about them. You know, isn't Meghan lovely and kind, and New evidence that Harry is smart as a whip. What an absolute dream couple they make. Apparently, many Brits who expressed a preference claim to have been impressed with the new king since he ascended to the throne in September. Asked if their view on Charles had changed since he became king, 24% of the public said they had a higher opinion of him than before. Based on what? I mean, seriously, a quarter of the public have revised their opinion upwards on his imperial chasness. Because of what? The way he gets an underling to get a pen off his desk? The expert way he greets a new Prime Minister? Well, he's had a lot of practice in that regard. I mean, what is it, like 5 new Tory MPs since he took charge? They come along like buses. The poll also found that 58% of Brits think he will be a good king, you know, like Wenceslas. Overall, 48% of the country have a positive view of King Charles, 33% have no opinion or aren't sure, and 13% have an unfavourable view of him. And you know what? That's going to change as soon as he says something about anything. Then he'll be the meddling royal. Who does he think he is, telling us to conserve and protect the planet? Why doesn't he mind his own business and sit inside and play with his jewels?
Disgusting.
Not those jewels. Meanwhile, the poll by Redfield and Wilton found Meghan and Harry, as in Hazard and Sparkles, were less popular with Brits than other members of the royal family. Wow, what an absolute shock. It's almost as though the propaganda blitz worked. It's a propaganda blitz, you know, the likes of which we've never seen outside of the press takedown of Jeremy Corbyn. It's like an instinctual reflex, isn't it? Jeremy Corbyn. Exactly. When asked their view on the Hollywood actress, Meghan Sparkles, 37% said their opinion was unfavourable. 38% had a positive view, with the rest having no opinion whatsoever. They said, no idea. Well, now, wait a minute. 37% said their opinion was unfavourable towards Meghan, while 38% had a positive view. And the rest had no opinion, which means that those who have a favourable view or no particular concern one way or the other amount to 37 plus 38%. Is that right? Shall I do mental arithmetic on the radio?
No.
Oh, okay then. Meanwhile, Hazard, who has just announced his controversial memoir, is going to be released in January, he fared a little bit better, 53% favourability rating, which, you know what, is higher than his kingness. And that memoir, by the way, that he's going to release is controversial because, got no idea. And neither do the papers, who keep saying that it's controversial. They haven't even read any of it yet. They don't know anything about it, but it doesn't prevent them from having a strong opinion.
Correct.
But it's Wills and Whatsit who are the nation's sweetheart. You remember Wills and Whatsit, don't you? 3/4 of those polled said they really love them. They love them for their, the things that they do, like, I've got no idea either. No idea. Kate out of Wills and Whatsit proved to be hugely popular, with 72% of the British public saying that they had a high opinion of her, based mostly on them not being able to remember a single thing she's said or done. So in that respect, she's absolutely perfect. You say it best when you say nothing at all. I'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock with my normal show. Coming up at 4, it's Richard Spur. But right now, Clive Ball. 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 Right now, Clive Ball.